Hey NFL fans, if you didn't know, we have a Raiders channel on YouTube. So if you like this video, go check it out. YouTube.com/Raiders Report. Not a Raiders fan? Sorry to hear that. Shout out your favorite team, and maybe this next video that you watch, I'm going to be able to convert you to the dark side.
So nation, no matter the location, from OAKLA to LB, I'm a Raider.
Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Today's show, Raiders to watch at training camp. And remember, training camp is hopefully going to be starting July 28th, so I'll mark that on your calendar. So today's show, we're going to be breaking down the players that I really am going to be concentrating on. But before I get into them, I want you to please subscribe to the Raiders Report. Now, I've been trying to hit 49,000 subs by July 1st. I don't know if it's going to happen. I might only give it one Chucky head, so don't look at the 4 Chucky heads here on my shirt. So if you haven't already, please hit that sub button or send it to your friends, youtube.com/Raiders Report. So who are some of the players I'm going to be watching? Obviously, I'm going to be watching the rookies, right? You go out, you invest in a first-round pick and a wide receiver for your main guy, Derek Carr. You're going to be expecting a lot out of Henry Ruggs, and I wanted to be able to add Ruggs to our offense because it's going to open up a lot of things. I mean, there's no doubt about that. The elite speed, and when he touches the football, he makes things happen. Obviously, then, the one player who we drafted in round 1 that had a lot of controversy, Damon Arnette. How is he going to be able to adapt? What is he going to look like in camp? I'm going to be watching. Lynn Bowden Jr., the Swiss Army knife, the Joker. I mean, passing yards, rushing, receiving. Yeah, that's what he did last season. I can't wait to see what kind of plays we have him working with. Then let's go to Bryan Edwards, another wide receiver where I'm going to be watching how he does against the cornerbacks, and I'm going to be watching how he stands up next to a guy like Tyrell, because if Tyrell's not ready to go, I know Bryan Edwards is going to be ready to rock and roll. Let's look at the last 3 players that we drafted. Tanner Muse in round 3, 100. Is he going to be playing linebacker? Is he going to be playing safety? How many different ways can we put him all over the football field? And how's he matching up against guys like Nicholas Morrow, a guy like Marquel? Is he going to be able to take that job? Obviously, then John Simpson is another player that I like, but then maybe the steal of the draft here for us, and we'll see in the entire NFL, Amik Robertson, an absolute ball hawk. I can't wait to see what he looks like in the nickel. Another player where if he plays better than LaMarcus Joyner, don't be surprised if Amik Robertson's starting by the end of the season. So my entire theme of this show is players that I just can't wait to watch at training camp. But what I want you to do is I want you to scroll on down and let me know who are you excited to watch this upcoming season at camp. Let's go to the quarterback position, Marcus Mariota. You give him a lot of money, and he has the chance to make up to $37.5 million in incentives. So why exactly am I watching him? Pretty simple, really. How does he fit in the John Gruden system? But also, how is he going to fit on the field when maybe Derek Carr's at quarterback and when Marcus Mariota's over there? But let's just say Derek struggles. Can we honestly have confidence in Mariota to be that quarterback to help us win football games or maybe even beyond? Because if Carr doesn't play well, I don't really see him coming back. So Marcus Mariota is going to be a player to watch, and let's face it, John Gruden, he loves himself some quarterbacks. Let's go to Tyrell Williams, the next player that I'm going to be watching. And are we going to get the wide receiver we paid for? You're paying $11.1 million to a guy where I need to be able to see if he's worth that money, because if he's not, you move on from him, you cut bait, all good. I hate to say this, but we might be dealing with another foot injury as well, because he's still kind of dealing with that plantar fasciitis. If you haven't watched our interview with him yet, please go check it out. But he also said that it's still kind of a lingering issue, and if it's still a lingering issue, I want to see how he looks in training camp. But if he's not ready to go, I do have confidence in a player like Bryan Edwards. Now, I will say this. If we can get a 1B, which when we brought in Tyrell in free agency, let's remember, that's what we wanted, a 1B receiver. How does Tyrell Williams look next to receivers like a Henry Ruggs? How does he look next to a guy like Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, maybe with our running game? If the chemistry's still there and if he can be fully healthy, Tyrell Williams is a player that I'm telling y'all you better keep an eye on. And I'll tell you this, I'm going to be keeping an eye on every single Raider fan when I go to games, when I go out in public, because if y'all aren't wearing your mask, you're not doing your part. Yesterday, 2 days ago now, the Las Vegas Raiders tweeted out that you better be wearing your face mask. Mike Mayock's daughter, she tweeted out, "My dad's getting old, wear your face mask." So what should you do? Go get a mask, and you can get one here at chatsports.com/Raider mask. It'll be in the comments. It'll be in the description. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Let's all go to LaMarcus Joyner here. This one's obvious, right? I mean, you paid him 4 years, $42 million, and he was just an absolute disaster. And when you look at some of the reports already, when you look at some of the quotes from coaches like John Gruden, from Paul Guenther, you can sense that they're a little bit nervous if this whole LaMarcus Joyner move is going to blow up in their face. The other reason, though, that I'm really going to be watching, because if Amik Robertson can step in and just be a little bit better, I think, honestly, you just kind of move on from Joyner, say it was a loss, and go with your young guy in Amik Robertson. But when I think about the top 2 players that are the most likely to get benched, honestly, for me, I think it's LaMarcus Joyner, and I think it's Tyrell Williams. And, it's nothing really much against Tyrell. I think there's a lot of confidence in Bryan Edwards. There is a lot against LaMarcus Joyner, but there is also a lot of confidence in Amik Robertson. So what I want you to do, the theme of the Raiders Report is interaction. Let's have an adult conversation. Scroll on down. Let me know. LJ for LaMarcus Joyner or TW for Tyrell Williams. The one player who I'm just hoping has a breakout, and maybe that's why I'm going to be watching him so closely. So, Clelin, if you ever see me on the sidelines watching you heavily, don't be freaked out. It's just because I do think that you can play a lot better this upcoming season. When you look at a lot of the reports from Clelin this year, he wants to put on more weight, and he has. 13 pounds of muscle. I don't know if it's possible to put on that much muscle that quick, but hey, I'm going to have my fingers crossed. So he's up to 275 pounds, and if that helps him produce the way that I know he can produce, if that helps him play the way that he did in Clemson, that's what I need to see. Because I can't have the 2019 version of Clelin Ferrell, and honestly, the Raiders, they're not going to have it either. It's why they went out and invested in Carl Nassib in free agency. They gave him 3 years, $25 million, $17 million guaranteed. Nassib's going to be able to play a little bit of linebacker too, but his main role is to challenge Clelin Ferrell and get the best out of him. Let's go to Prince Amukamara. Here's next on my list of players to watch, and this is an absolute steal. 1 year, $1.05 million. Imagine, we almost paid Eli Apple 6 times that. Yeah, let that sink in a little bit. The reason why John Gruden, the reason why Paul Guenther, Mike Mayock, their eyes are going to be locked on Prince Amukamara is because you went out and drafted Damon Arnette, 19th overall. And you need to be able to see who can be that cornerback too. Is it going to be Prince Amukamara? Is it going to be Damon Arnette? I think we are very confident in Trayvon Mullen that he can be a solid player. But how does Trayvon Mullen and Prince Amukamara work together? How does, Damon Arnette and Trayvon Mullen work together? You're going to see a lot of different moving pieces on this Raiders defense. And for every single player that you see on screen, if they can't get it together and they can't work as a unit, you're going to see people get moved around and you're going to see people lose their starting jobs. Arden Key is the next player up here to watch, and he's going to be one of these guys where you need to watch because I'm not sure if he deserves a final roster position. When I see talent, it's there. If you're grading on just talent alone, Arden Key has it. But John Gruden and Mike Mayock, they want players that buy into their system. They want players that are going to help kind of transform this Raiders team and to just be leaders on and off the field. I don't know if that's Arden Key. And you kind of saw some glimpses of him being special last year, but then he battled injuries. I want to be able to sit here and tell you that I'm 100% confident in Key, but I'm not. And since I've started this Raiders Report show, which seems like, what now, we're going on almost 2.5 years, it's just been excuse after excuse after excuse for Arden Key. That's not going to happen anymore because if you don't have the good Arden Key, you just move on from him, cut bait, because it's only going to cost you $413K, and as far as I'm concerned, that's not even worth the headache. Another defensive tackle here on the show is Malik Collins, and he is going to be battling for a starting job, I think, on the defensive tackle line, I guess. He's going to be battling with Johnathan Hankins. I don't know if Daniel Ross is quite in there, but also you're going to be looking at PJ Hall. But one of the reasons why I also really want to watch him is because he knows the Rod Marinelli defense, and I want to see how he coaches players. I want to see how he coaches coaches, right? Because when you don't have the time to work in OTAs or mini camps, you might be relying on a lot of these players that, let's just say, know the Rod Marinelli system to step up. But it's going to be really, really interesting because he is fighting for a starting job. Player in his 5th year on a 1-year contract, does he be selfish and only teach himself and kind of keep it so he can win that job? Or is he a player coach and start teaching some of these younger players as well? So 4th of July, it is right around the corner, and I don't know about you, I'm stoked. I can't wait to hang out with my family. I can't wait to hang out with my friends. We're going to have a little bit of a cookout. We'll still be responsible. We'll still remain, pretty far away from each other. But I want you to let me know what your 4th of July plans are, and if anybody's near the 570, which is Danville, Pennsylvania. Hit me up. Maybe we can get together. I know one thing I'm going to be repping, though, on 4th of July. Maybe not this Derek Carr t-shirt. I don't know how it would fit me. But, hey, if you got a special lady in your life, she would probably look absolutely great in it. This is the one that I'm going to be wearing, and I got it at chatsports.com/Raiders4th. If you need some Raiders 4th of July gear, I know how y'all are. I know how I am. I'm always trying to rep my team. We got long sleeves. We got t-shirts. We got women's apparel as well, and all that is at the link below, and it'll be in the description, chatsports.com/Raiders4th. Let's go to another player here, Marquel, that I'm a little bit intrigued to see what we have in Marquel. Because if you look at Marquel in 2018, his stats actually are pretty good. Now, the defense that we had in 2018, that wasn't very good. 2019, he battled some injuries. Nicholas Morrow kind of stepped up. But who's the best strong side linebacker? Is it going to be Marquel? Is it going to be Tanner Muse? Is it going to be Nicholas Morrow? It's a competition battle that every single Raider fan should be watching because obviously we have confidence in Corey Littleton. Obviously we have confidence in Nick Kwiatkowski. But do we have confidence in Nicholas Morrow, Marquel, or as much as I like Tanner Muse, he was a safety in college. You're going to convert him to linebacker. I can't imagine that's very easy when you haven't really been working with your team or coaches. So I really, really want to just say, watch Marquel, watch Nicholas Morrow, watch the linebackers as a whole, because our linebacking position has been a need for us. It's been a major weakness, and if it doesn't improve, we still can't get up there to the upper echelon teams in the National Football League. The last player that I'm going to talk about here that you need to watch, it's Johnathan Abram, and he might be the most important player to watch, in my opinion, just because when you draft somebody 27th overall in the 2019 draft, you obviously have a lot of expectations. The other reason why I really want to watch him is because if you remember in Hard Knocks last year, John Gruden and the other coaches would get mad at him. What do I mean? They would get mad at him for being too rough and for just hitting people too hard at training camp. I don't want that to happen again because he's coming off of shoulder surgery. I just want him to be a little bit smarter. And I love the competitiveness. I love that he's a leader on and off the field. But I want to see a healthy Johnathan Abram. I also want to see how we move him around because there's reports out there that he's going to play linebacker, he's going to play safety, he's going to play all over the football field. So who are the 10 players? Yes, I'm kind of cheating here. Technically 16 players that I think every Raider fan should watch at training camp. You got to watch all 7 rookies. You got to. Marcus Mariota, Tyrell Williams, Lamarcus Joyner. Tyrell, Lamarcus, you're going to be battling for a job. Clee, can you step up? I sure hope so and think so. And then these last 5 players, Prince Amukamara, he's going to be battling out with Damon Arnette, who's the better one there. Arden Key, should we keep him or cut him? That's going to cost us $413K. Malik Collins needs to be that player coach on and off the field to help these guys learn the Rod Marinelli system. Marquel Lee's going to be battling out there for that strong side linebacker position. And Johnathan Abram, can he be that player that really takes our defense to the next level? Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this, I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.